What's cracking? Here we are outside 77D Eastern Parkway. What day is it? Today is Wednesday. Wow, this is pretty brutal. Days just keep flying by. The 15th of the month of Elul, the middle of the month, which reminds me that it's actually time to say the blessing of the new moon, which I might do soon. Anyway, welcome to our new guests. And by new, I mean olds. So we're getting close to Rosh Hashanah. We're literally halfway through the last month of the year, literally and figuratively. This is pretty intense. I don't even know what to say. I mean, the Jewish New Year, 5,785, that counts from the 5,785 years since the beginning of the entire universe, which is pretty intense to think about. I mean, I don't know why some people think that's considered a young Earth. I mean, 5,785 years. Most people I know are barely even half that old. In fact, it's very old. Every day, every second, the Creator is constantly making the entire universe from nothing. And that's been going on for thousands of years. And every day, it gets stronger and more divine energy is brought down into the worlds. Every second. But specifically, every New Year, on the Jewish New Year, says there's an entirely new energy that's drawn down into this universe and all of the universes that never existed before in history. And that happens every Rosh Hashanah. New intelligence of the Creator, new divine energy of the Creator that has the power to make literally anything happen. It says that even the original creation of the universe that happened 5,000 years ago, that was only temporary. Hi, welcome.
Hi, welcome.
What?
Welcome, brother, welcome.
Welcome. Nice to meet you. How are you? And how are you?
I am fine.
Cool. Do I know you? Or not yet? How'd you find me? Just for fun, match? What is it? Gotta get the most likes. What is it? What is
UKLA, welcome ho gaya tera UKLA.
What language are you speaking? Are you Arab? What is this?
Welcome, UKLA, welcome, Patisa, welcome.
What do you want to talk about? That's a real question.
Khalas khali bali tu dafo. UKLA, welcome.
What's the subject that you want to talk about, if anything? Huh? We were talking about how we're approaching the Jewish New Year. Right now we're on the 15th day of the last month of the Jewish year. And 15 more days to the Jewish New Year, which is 5,185 years since the beginning of the creation of the entire universe. And every new year, an entirely new energy of the Creator is drawn down into the universe that never existed before and it never will exist after. Every year is an even greater energy that was never there before. So basically, even though we had like prophets and all kinds of stuff in the past, but this year, 5,785, is greater than all previous years because the Creator is continuously creating it with greater energy all the time. And it says that the original year of creation, even the original year where the universe was created for the first time, says that the divine energy that was invested in that creation only lasted 1 year at a time. And the next year after that, on the next Rosh Hashanah, on the next Jewish New Year, after the first year the universe was created, then it says there was still a new energy. It's basically, even the first year, all the energy of that year of creation went back to its source. Every Rosh Hashanah, every Jewish New Year, It says, on the evening before the new year, the entire universe, all the energy for the entire universe returns to its original source of nothingness, and then it becomes renewed during the daytime of the Jewish New Year, when the Jewish people blow the shofar blast and doing this different prayers during the Jewish New Year. Then that reveals a new light of the Creator into the universe for that entire year. And whatever happened the year before is insignificant, because the power that the Jewish people have during the Jewish New Year to draw down new light is totally infinite. Literally anything could happen during the entire year, based entirely on the prayers of the Jewish people. So this includes not only for things that happen to the Jews, but things that happen to all people in the universe. All of that is determined by how the Jewish people pray during the Jewish New Year. And not only people, but it says everything that happens even to animals, and even to plants and inanimate matter, and even the angels, and even the spiritual worlds. Everything that happens in all of existence is only based on how much the Jewish people pray during the Jewish New Year of that year. And that has an infinite power to bring down literally anything at all. Especially Mashiach is the main thing that we're waiting for. In the time of Mashiach, it says, the Jewish Messiah says, there will be an era of completely infinite prosperity and total abundance in literally everything that exists. No problems will remain at all in any way. There will be no more war, no more jealousy, no more strife, and there will be goodness and everything, no more hunger, etc. And why is that? It says in the prophecies, because the energy of the Creator will be manifested everywhere you look. There will be no place that's void of the Creator. So everyone will be able to see the Creator's energy in everything, and that energy will be revealed to everyone openly and in an even greater way than it is now. And essentially it will bring infinite blessings into the world forever. It says when someone plants a tree in the times of Mashiach, the tree will go from a seed to a fully grown fruit tree in less than 1 hour, because of the infinite energy of the Creator that will be everywhere. It says the amount of prosperity that will exist when Mashiach comes, incomparable to anything that ever has existed before. People think that they have prosperity now. Even the richest people in the universe now are nothing compared to even the simplest people that will be in the times of Mashiach. So this is the era of the Messiah that will benefit not only the Jewish people, but all of humanity will all worship the same Creator, because they will all see the energy of the Creator literally manifested in everything, everywhere we look, literally and figuratively, but mainly literally. It says in some of the Kabbalistic sources that really the Creator makes everything constantly, every second, with the speech of the Creator. But we don't always realize that the Creator is speaking everything into existence. The way we live our lives nowadays during the exile, the Creator is hidden from us, and we don't actually realize how the Creator is constantly bringing everything into existence through His speech from absolutely nothing every second. It looks like the world is just like exists and running itself, but that's the source of atheism in this world, because it's during the exile of the concealment. But when the Messiah comes, it says that all flesh will see as one that the mouth of the Creator has spoken. The simple meaning is that that's referring to the prophecies that the Creator spoke to other prophets regarding the time of the redemption, that everyone will realize that those prophecies were fulfilled. But a deeper meaning is that everyone will see how the Creator is constantly speaking all of reality into existence every second. And that will be seen even with the physical flesh, even with our physical eyes. Not only the eyes, but the actual flesh itself will see the Creator in everything. And that's essentially what the era of the Messiah is going to be. The first thing that's going to happen is explained by the Lubavitcher Rebbe based on the Talmud, that the third temple, there's going to be a temple, first of all, a new temple in the city of Jerusalem that will eventually be on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem forever, which will merge the heavens and earth. But the first step of that, based on the Talmud and a speech from the Baal Jerry, said that this third temple is already built now, but it's in the spiritual universes, and it's going to fall out of the sky right here, right above 770 Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn, New York. It's literally a temple made out of fire. It's going to be like right around here, approximately, give or take a few millimeters. And it says that temple is going to fall out of the sky above 770 Eastern Parkway. And then this entire building that we're on now is going to be miraculously lifted up into the sky to greet the future temple made out of fire. And all of the synagogues in the world, wherever they are, will be miraculously uprooted from their places in the ground and fly in the air towards this future fire temple to create a massive superstructure of synagogues flying in the air. And then all of that collectively will go to the city of Jerusalem with all the Jewish people in the entire exile, who will miraculously be flying in the air. And then they will be settled in the land of Jerusalem, in the land of Yisroel, forever. And that will essentially merge the heavens and earth forever. Because the temple is really from the spiritual worlds, but it'll come in the physical worlds, and that'll merge the spiritual and the physical forever. And then, after that, there's going to be a second splitting of the sea, the same sea that split when the Jews left Egypt. Originally, it says is going to split again. In the verse it says about the splitting of the sea in the Torah, it says that then Moshe and the children of Israel sang the song that they sung after the splitting of the sea. But the Hebrew word then could mean in the past and then in the future. And not only that, but the Hebrew word they sang could also mean they will sing. The same grammatics of the word could mean past and future. So that's one of the sources in the Talmud that says that there's going to be a second splitting of the sea. But there's also an explicit prophecy that says that Hashem, the Creator, will dry up the tongue or dry up the bank of the Egyptian sea and make a pathway for his people, just like it was when they went out of Egypt. And that splitting of the sea will have spiritual effects in the entire universe, because it says when the original sea split, when the Jews left Egypt, it wasn't only physical water that was splitting, but it was also spiritual water. Like the spiritual water is the concealment of the Creator. Really, water hides the entire underwater world of the ocean is hidden because of the water. You can't actually see all of the fish in the ocean if you're just on the surface, because it conceals it. So too, it says that there's really an entire universe, entire stack of universes in the physical, but we can't see it because there's like a bunch of spiritual universes happening right now everywhere we are. But it's all hidden. It's like worlds of the sea under the surface. But we can't peel behind the surface. It looks like we're only in the physical world, only on the dry land, but we can't see the hidden worlds of the ocean that really exist everywhere. We can't see the spiritual universes. But the splitting of the sea originally, it says split all of the barriers of the spiritual and the physical, and even between spiritual and other spiritual worlds. And the Jewish people were able to see through all of reality. Not only they were able to see the water splitting, but they were able to see the spiritual water splitting, and they were able to see the spiritual concealments being lifted completely. And it says that even like a servant at the sea saw more of the Creator's energy than some of the greatest prophets in existence, because at the splitting of the sea, the spiritual worlds were literally opened up, and they could see how the Creator was constantly making everything from nothing every second. So that is going to happen again when the Messiah comes, except the original splitting of the sea was only like a temporary experience that lasted for a certain amount of time, and then it ended afterwards. It says that it only lasted as long as this eastern wind was blowing, which was like a miraculous wind that had a certain spiritual power. But after the wind stopped blowing, then the sea stopped splitting, and then people just saw the physical world again. But when the Messiah comes, it says the sea is going to be splitting forever. And it's going to be an eternal split where we will see the Creator and all the spiritual worlds and everything forever and for all time. But in addition to this future splitting of the sea, there's also going to be a different thing known as the splitting of the river. The Euphrates River will split as well, which did not happen before. When the Jews originally entered the land of Israel, it says the Jordan River split, which was its own event. But saying the Euphrates River is a different river, which is the river that flows from Eden to water the garden. And that will have an even greater effect than the splitting of the sea. It says a river flows from Eden to water the garden in the beginning of the Torah, referring to the Garden of Eden, meaning there's two things. There's the place of Eden, and then there's the Garden of Eden, which is a different location than Eden itself. And that Garden of Eden gets its nutrients from the river which comes from Eden. So, in a spiritual sense, Eden means delight, and that refers to the essential delight of the Awtsmoos, of the Creator, the essence of the Creator, the delight that the Creator has in Himself and in the essential core of the Creator, which is the source of all delight, which is mainly revealed through the commandments that we do, etc. But the point is that it's this very high spiritual energy, even beyond spiritual, that's essentially beyond anything we could imagine. The essence of the Creator called Eden, the delight. It's only that in the afterlife, currently, in the world of souls, when people pass away, nowadays, they go to this spiritual world called the Garden of Eden, which is what people refer to as heaven, really. But it's really like a spiritual waiting room, essentially, where it's like a miniature paradise, not such a big deal, but it's like the point is that they get a certain amount of delight of the Creator through the river that flows from Eden. There's the Eden, which is a source of all delight. But then there's like a spiritual river which takes like a diluted version of that delight and trickles it down to another spiritual location called the Garden of Eden. And that's where the souls hang out nowadays after they pass away. And then there's like they get a certain level of delight of the Creator through the river, which is essentially the secrets of the Torah, because the Torah has 53 sections, and the Hebrew number 53 is Gan, which spells out the word Gan, which means garden. So the Garden of Eden is a spiritual world where people learn about the secrets of the Torah, and through those secrets of the Torah they have a certain amount of delight, which is channeled to them through this spiritual river, as it's explained in a lot of Kabbalah books. But in the future time, when the Euphrates River will split, which is the river that flows from Eden, then that will also split also these spiritual rivers, the spiritual river that comes to the spiritual Garden of Eden, and it will reveal an even deeper level of spirituality that never even was revealed before. When the sea split, then they saw how the physical universe was constantly created from the spiritual, and they also saw certain other levels of spiritual, even beyond spiritual as well. But it wasn't the ultimate revelation. There was still more behind the surface. Even after the splitting of the sea, there was still more that was hidden. But they saw a lot of things, they just didn't see everything. But in the splitting of the river in the future time, that will split all concealments, and it will reveal the hidden essence of the Creator, the Awtsmoos, which is the level of Eden, the delight of the Creator in everything. So there's going to be a splitting of the sea and a splitting of the Euphrates River, the river that flows from Eden, which will last forever. And those two things are what causes the fact that we will see the energy of the Creator in everything. And that is the reason why there will be no more problems, no more war, no more struggles in the world, no more strife, no more hunger, because everyone will openly see all this spiritual energy everywhere, and that spiritual energy will have real effects in the world, causing infinite abundance of infinite food everywhere, fruit trees growing within the hour. It says new babies will be able to be born within an hour, etc. It's there'll be so much prosperity and abundance that there will be absolutely no more issues forever. And that is accomplished by what we do nowadays, through every good deed that we do, just one more action, etc. That can tip the scales. It says that the Maimonides says that one should always look at oneself as if oneself is totally balanced between good and bad. And it says even one good deed could tip the scale within oneself to the good. And on top of that, it says one should always look at the entire world as if it's perfectly balanced on a scale of good and bad, exactly balanced. And even one little good deed could tip oneself, which tips the scale for the world, which brings complete redemption for everything, and that could bring the Messiah. It says when we just like spread this message, go viral, get together, that will create like a collective energy, and then the Creator will basically be forced to bring the Messiah once people just get together and want it. So that's basically what we should do. Another way that we could do it is when the Jewish people know about the right that they have to the land of Yisrael, the strength of the claim that they have to the land. Sometimes the Jewish people are like, is this really our land? Is it not our land? But no, they need to know that the land of Yisrael, in addition to being acquired through every possible legal method of acquisition that exists, every possible way anyone else acquires land, the Jewish people also acquired the land recently, but it's like they need to know that the actual primary reason for why the land of Israel belongs to them forever is because the Creator of the universe gave it to the original Jew, Abraham, and specifically to his son Yitzchak, Isaac, and specifically to his son Yaakov, Jacob. He gave it to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov as an eternal inheritance for all time. This is explicitly mentioned in the Torah, which people really, all the major religions accept this part of the Torah. And even other people who don't really know about the Torah, if they knew about the evidence, the extreme amounts of evidence that supports the Torah, then they would also accept it. But the reason why maybe some people think they don't accept it is just because they have no idea what the Torah actually is. But once people actually know the evidence of the Torah, they will also accept it. The Torah is the word of the Creator, basically. And this is the unchanging word of the Creator of the universe. And this Creator of the entire universe owns the entire universe. Since He created the universe, He owns all of the land in the world, in the entire universe. And this Creator has the right to give this land to anyone that He wants. And we know that He wanted to, and actually did, give it to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, to the ancestors of the Jewish people, and by extension the Jewish people, forever and for all time. And then in the times of Joshua, after Moses, the Jewish people had a completely supernatural conquest of the land through a war that was directed by the Creator with all kinds of miracles, splitting of a river, walls falling down just by blowing trumpets, and the sun standing still. So there was a bunch of supernatural stuff that happened for how they conquered the land. And then essentially, even in the modern era, it says the Jewish people conquered the land of Israel just based on the Creator's miracles. During the 6-day war, there was total open miracles for how the Creator helped the Jewish people win. And all these natural events for how the Jewish people own the land legally are all extensions of the essential reason for why the Jewish people own the land, which is because the Creator gave it to the Jewish people forever. And that's a constant gift. That since it's given by the Creator eternally, it will always be the land of Israel, no matter what happens. Even though the Jewish people were kicked out by the Romans 1960 years ago approximately, it still remains their land forever because the Creator gave it to them. It can never be taken away by anyone, no matter what. And through those things, through doing kindness and through knowing that, the Jewish people have the eternal land of Israel as eternal right for them forever. Those are some things that can bring the redemption. When Moshiach comes, the borders of Israel will expand to the entire world. It says there'll be one king for the entire world. There'll be only holiness everywhere, only goodness and kindness. And one should also spread the message of something called the 7 Noahide laws, the 7 laws of Noah. Very briefly, relatively speaking, it says that in the beginning of creation, when the Creator made Adam, the first man, it says that he gave Adam 6 commandments. Even though in the verse it just says he told him not to eat from the fruit, and that's only one commandment. But really the Talmud tells us that in that verse that the Creator told him not to eat from the fruit, every word of the verse hints to a different one of the commandments that the Creator gave Adam. And through tradition, we know that the Creator commanded Adam 6 different commandments, which was not to worship idols, to not blasphemize the name of God, to not steal, not murder, not commit adultery, and to establish courts of justice to enforce the other laws. This is what Adam, the first man, before Judaism was around, before we had the actual Torah, but Adam himself already had 6 commandments. But they couldn't eat meat yet. Meat was not something they ate originally. But after the flood of Noah, then the Creator added a different commandment to Noah, which was that he first of all allowed them to eat meat. So meat is totally fine, as long as someone does not eat a limb that's taken from a living animal, because people used to take limbs from animals while they're still alive. So the Creator told them, okay, you can eat meat, just don't take the limbs from the animal while they're still alive. So that was a seventh commandment. So in the times of Noah, and all of humanity had 7 commandments known as the 7 commandments of Noah, or for some reason the 7 Noahide laws, whatever hide means. But this went on for about 10 generations. After the times of Noah, as humanity expanded, they all had these traditions of the 7 laws of Noah, but some people forgot about them. Not everyone really remembered. But when the Creator, eventually the Creator wanted to choose one nation out of all the other nations to give more commandments for a special covenant to give the Torah. And the point of the Torah and the point of these are extra commandments beyond the 7. Everyone had the 7 commandments, but then the Creator wanted to give more extra commandments in order to bring additional light into the darkening world. And when the Creator did that, the Creator singled out one nation in the world that would accept the deal, and he wanted to give this other nation more commandments. So this is where the Torah comes from, essentially. The Creator wanted to give the Torah, which was new, extra commandments, to one of the nations on earth, to bring more light into the world, not just 7. And then it says, really the Creator chose the Jewish people for that covenant. But it says before the Creator chose the Jewish people to be the chosen people, the Creator, it says in the Midrash, first went to every other nation in the world. And the Creator himself directly asked everyone else, hey, do you guys want this Torah? I know you already have 7 commandments that you're fine with, but do you want huge amounts of extra additional responsibilities that you wouldn't have had to do otherwise? And the Creator pretty much went to every other nation in the world, and everyone else said, nah, we're good. No way, Jose, kind of thing. They didn't want these extra responsibilities, so they didn't want to be no one else wanted to be the chosen nation because they didn't want the extra responsibilities. So only the Jewish people said, yeah, we'll do whatever you say, we'll do and we will listen. First we'll do it, and then after we do it, we'll figure out what it is that you actually want us to do. So the point is the Jewish people accepted upon themselves to do anything the Creator wanted them to do, even though they didn't have to. And this is where the Torah comes from. This is when the Creator gave the Jewish people the Torah, the 613 commandments. Everyone else still had the 7 from the times of Noah, but the Creator gave the Torah to the Jewish people to do 613 commandments, which are in order to bring new light into the darkening world, etc. And then it says, when the Creator did that, the Creator gave 613 commandments through Moses. And when he did that, he also told Moses again about the 7 laws from Noah. And he said, the Creator himself told Moses again to tell the other nations of the world that they have to keep these 7 laws. So even though these 7 laws existed from Noah, but they were commanded again to Moses at Mount Sinai from the Creator. And the Creator himself told Moshe, hey, in addition to the Torah that I'm giving you for the Jewish people, I'm also commanding you these 7 commandments again, which is already centuries after the times of Noah. But the Creator commanded Moshe again, and the Creator told Moshe that you have to tell the other nations that they're actually obligated in these commandments. People were forgetting about them at the time, but the point is that they were commanded again in the times of Mount Sinai, and that is the reason why the Gentiles of the world need to do them nowadays. Not because they were commanded to Adam or Noah, but because the Creator commanded Moses at Mount Sinai when he gave us the Torah. And those 7 commandments, he says, are the bedrock of all civilized society. It's not possible to have a real society or any society without them. Extremely important connections to the Creator, the instructions that the Creator of the universe gave for how to make a functioning human society. And it says anyone of the Gentiles who fulfills them, because the Creator commanded Moshe at Mount Sinai, it says they have a portion in the world to come, which is the future time of the resurrection. After the Messiah comes, not only is it going to be eternal world peace, but it says all of the righteous people who passed away will miraculously come back to life. They'll be resurrected. Their bodies will be recreated from the dust of the ground, in a similar way to how the body of Adam was created originally. But when Adam's body was created, it was created with the possibility of maybe doing evil later and maybe like descending from some level. But in the future time when the bodies will be recreated from the dust, it says there will be no possibility of evil, because there will be created from an infinitely greater light of the Creator that will be revealed only in the future time. So it says that both Jews and Gentiles will have a portion in this world to come. The Gentiles who fulfill these 7 laws because the Creator commanded them to Moshe, they will also be able to live forever in the physical body. The spiritual world is not such a big deal. The spiritual heavens, it exists, but it's just like a little waiting room. They only have like the Garden of Eden. They only get the delight through the river that flows from Eden, which is like, it's okay, but it's not such a big deal. But in the future time, we're going to have Eden itself. We're going to have the level of delight of the Creator directly, and the river that flows from Eden will be split, meaning that there's going to be the infinite essence in everything anyway. So it says, again, so through acts of kindness is one thing, tipping the scale. Also, through publicizing the fact that the Jewish people have the eternal right to the land of Israel because the Creator gave it to Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov forever, and all of the other legal reasons why they have it nowadays are only outcomes of that. So through publicizing that will help bring the Messiah, and also through publicizing the 7 laws of Noah, that all of humanity has these 7 instructions for how to make a functioning human society that were given by the Creator himself, then those things will help bring the Messiah closer. But the main thing is just to spread this message and try to make a viral campaign of people gathering together, because when people come together, that's the main thing. So we should have Mashiach now, and if you have any questions or sources that you need, let me know. And Mashiach now. See you. Mashiach comes.